YouTube, hey Young and the Restless fans, what do the spoilers tell us for the week of November 18th? Let's get into it. First of all, Nick is going to struggle with Sharon's confession this week. We saw Sharon shockingly come clean about everything, about her entire plot to get revenge on Daniel. Nick was reeling as Sharon told him in detail everything she did. Sharon thinks she committed the crime against Heather, and Sharon thinks she's responsible for Phyllis's accident too. But we know Ian Ward and Jordan are orchestrating things from the shadows. We know they're involved. Could they have been the ones who actually committed the crime against Heather and made Sharon believe it was her? Also, we know someone else was on the road that night, and we saw Jordan return to the motel room to tell Ian it's done exactly according to plan. And Ian Ward revealed himself, turns around, and it's Ian Ward, and he says, "How wonderful." So these two sinister villains are back. Ian Ward and Aunt Jordan, they've teamed up for a revenge plot. And we'll learn more about the specifics of their plan soon. But spoilers say Ian and Jordan target Sharon. It looks like Ian and Jordan are taking advantage of Sharon's mental state. And we have to wonder too if they maybe tampered with Sharon's medication. Have they been doing that behind the scenes all this time? Could they have been providing Sharon maybe placebos all this time? We'll have to see just how deep their plot goes, and if this had something to do, of course, with Sharon's mental instability the past weeks and months. So, and how many tentacles that Ian Ward and Jordan have going into this plan. And speaking of tentacles, there was that octopus weapon, right? That strange octopus-shaped bookend that had the evidence on it that Chance found. We never saw Sharon use that, so it looks like Ian and Jordan could be behind that as well. And in the preview, we see Ian and Jordan celebrating and getting ready to pop the champagne, so stay tuned as their nefarious plan continues, and we'll learn more about specifically what it is that their end game is with this. And over at the hospital, Daniel and Summer this week find Phyllis in critical condition. We'll learn from Elena that Phyllis has a brain injury and that for now it's a waiting game. We could be looking at Phyllis being in a coma. There could also be other complications, but Elena will also share her expert opinion this week to help Phyllis. So I'm wondering if we'll see Phyllis maybe needing a transplant or a blood transfusion, or if someone will have to be a donor for Phyllis. Summer is forced to make a tough decision this week, so could that have something to do with having to make a tough decision about Phyllis and what to do with maybe an emergency transplant surgery or something like that? So stay tuned. Also, Daniel demands answers from Nick this week too, and Daniel also wants justice for Phyllis. Daniel is going to blame Sharon for Phyllis's accident, and he'll be suspicious because this happened so close to Sharon's house too. Someone out there lured Phyllis onto the road that night, right, to set up this accident and frame it on Sharon. We know it's Ian Ward and Aunt Jordan, but Daniel will assume it's Sharon. And we do know that Sharon is guilty for some of this, right, for covering up the crime, framing, pinning it on Daniel. And, but Sharon is a pawn, it seems, in a bigger, more mysterious plan by Ian Ward and Jordan. So stay tuned as we learn more about what that plan specifically is going to be. We know that they want to cause as much chaos as possible, so stay tuned. Christine and Michael will also debate Sharon's innocence this week, so look for the two legal eagles to share some scenes together this week, and we'll see if Michael becomes Sharon's lawyer. Will Michael represent Sharon? Michael was able to defend Claire and get her some time in a treatment facility, so maybe Michael can pull some strings and do the same thing for Sharon and see if he can get Sharon off the hook, so we'll see. Chance's investigation uncovers damaging evidence against Sharon, though, this week. And of course, Sharon will be arrested this week when, of course, she wants Nick to call Chance. Chance will come over to the cottage and arrest Sharon. Nick and Sharon will also update Mariah and Faith, and they'll learn everything that's happening. Lucy also returns this week, too, and she'll find out about Phyllis and the accident and everything that's going on. So everyone's going to be stunned. to see their reactions, so stay tuned for that. But Ian Ward and Jordan are manipulating things behind the scenes, so stay tuned to see how this incredible story develops. And over at the Abbott Mansion this week, Jack and Diane's lies will be exposed this week. We knew something was over the top, right, about Jack and Diane's arguments and their supposed breakup. And now, of course, we know that it was all an act. Diane and Jack revealed that to Kyle, and Kyle was beside himself. Diane told Kyle they did it for him, to save Kyle from Victor, and to show Kyle that he was just a pawn in Victor's revenge plan against Jack. Will Kyle, though, forgive his parents for their deception? We'll have to see, but Claire could nudge Kyle in the right direction, too, to forgive his parents, so stay tuned to see if that happens. But speaking of Diane, Victor gets the upper hand with Diane this week. In the preview, we see Victor telling Diane about signing the papers for the Glissade transfer. Just like that, says Diane. Spoilers say Jack learns that Diane, too, makes a sacrifice for their family. So expect the unexpected with this whole story. Will Diane step down from Glissade? After all, Jack and Diane's plan was to get Kyle out of there, so mission accomplished there. So we'll see where this story goes next. And if Victor has another ace up his sleeve, it's hard to fool Victor Newman, so we'll see what's going on here with Victor and Diane and Glissade this week. But speaking of Victor, Victor announces Nikki's new role at Chancellor. So look for Nikki to take over the reins and become the CEO of Chancellor of Jill's former company. Of course, Victor offered Jill a deal she couldn't refuse, and Billy was devastated to learn that his mom, Jill, sold the company to Victor and pulled the rug right out from under him. Everything was going well, too, for Billy. He was going to bring Lily back, and everything was going well, and then this happens, okay? So Billy, though, vows revenge, though. He wants payback against Victor Newman, but it's easier said than done to get revenge on the great Victor Newman, so we'll see what Billy can do. But speaking of Billy this week, Billy and Sally fight temptation, so it looks like their romance will start to sizzle. Sally also settles a score this week, so could this have something to do with Adam or something else? We'll see. But another exciting week in Genoa City awaits, so don't miss a moment as we learn more about Sharon's confession and the reaction to that, and her arrest, Phyllis's recovery this week, and Ian Ward and Jordan's diabolical plan. November has plenty more shockers on the way, so stay tuned. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Keep it right here for more updates. Watch The Young and the Restless, CBS Daytime and Paramount Plus, and I'll see you in the next video.